How's it going, everybody? This is BeatTheBush. Part of any solid retirement plan, especially for early retirement, you really have to gauge how much you're going to spend after you retire. So today I've gathered a lot of factors you really should go over just to make sure you know where your costs are going to land so that you can figure out if you have enough money to retire early. The best way to practice and prepare for your early retirement, of course, is to lower your current spend rate. You can't spend at a high level today and then just say, oh, after I retire, I'm gonna not spend on this and not do that. It's not gonna happen because it's really hard to adjust. What I recommend to do is lower your current expenses. It's sort of like a prototype and staging yourself for the transition. Of course, we can't predict every single thing, and after you make the transition, there's a lot of different things you still need to watch out for, and your expenses are going to change still some more. But at least if you lower your expenses and you're sort of used to it, there'll be less surprises. Here are some things that may change in your burn rate after you transition into early retirement. Your gasoline usage is going to drop dramatically depending on how far you commute to work because you just don't have the commute anymore. Your public transportation is going to also reduce to a point where you're only going out to get specific things that you need. You don't have to do it every single day, and likely you're going to just collect them all and maybe do it once a week. Your car insurance will likely go down if you update the estimated driving mileage that you're going to have. The maintenance is gonna also go down that I wrote over here. You will have an increased cost in terms of healthcare because then you have to actually pay for it yourself rather than your employer subsidizing for most of it. When you retire, you're gonna have a much lower spend rate and probably a much lower passive income level. Therefore, your income is gonna be way down there and you would qualify for a lot of the subsidized Affordable Care Act stuff, so then you can pay a lot less. My estimate for healthcare, depending on where your passive income lies, could range anywhere from about $1,000, that's really low, to maybe $5,000, that's average, and if you're much older, it may cost something close to even $12,000 a year. When you've retired early and you're staying home a lot more, or maybe you're out and about all the time, but you're going to use your own facilities a lot more. So a lot of consumables are going to be used a lot more, including coffee, tea, toilet paper, light bulbs, and the like. Other consumables include electricity, gas, and water because you're going to use your own bathroom, you're going to use a lot more electricity because you're going to be present wherever you're sitting, you're going to have to be paying for that location. You can also reduce a lot your work clothes costs and also your work lunches. All those times where you don't have enough time to pack for lunch, you go out and eat, you no longer have to do that because you're always going to have something at home to eat instead. Sometimes your work clothes can be quite expensive depending on your profession, but you can basically remove all of those because you won't be buying any more of those. Like I said in reference to the healthcare, if you are in early retirement, your tax bracket will likely drop way down. Before, I don't know, you could be like 25, 33% tax bracket. All of a sudden you make much less to the level of your exact burn rate. And if your burn rate is really low, that means your income bracket is really low. If you're in a really low tax bracket, your mortgage tax deduction may not work as well for you because maybe before you're able to get 25% deduction of the total tax you pay. But if you're in a lower tax bracket, maybe you only get 10%. That's a lot less benefit, and therefore you might just want to pay it all off anyway because if you're in early retirement, you can't have a mortgage really. It makes it a lot harder. The obvious thing with early retirement, of course, is you're going to have a bunch of extra time. So you really have to plan ahead of knowing what you're actually going to do. Some people, when they retire at the age of 65 or whatnot, they get bored and sometimes they just go back to work. I don't think anyone should do this. You really need to find yourself and figure out what you like to do. Your hobby spending might increase because you have a lot more time to pursue it. Maybe you want additional gizmos or something to make your hobbies better. You need more advanced equipment or whatnot. You know, on my channel, I like to churn credit cards. So maybe if I were retired early, then I would churn more credit cards. I don't know, bake cookies, make Parmesan crisp, design 3D models of stuff to print on my 3D printer. And probably you can travel as much as you want, as long as you want, because if you're in early retirement, you have the passive income. Basically, you don't have to work. And if you keep your expenses low enough, even when you're traveling, then you can just do it indefinitely. You have the luxury of traveling on Wednesdays And if your airline says, hey, let me give you $200 credit for, missing this flight and going tomorrow. No big deal, because you can do that and save some more money. I hope this gives you more fuel, more enthusiasm to save more. Not retirement all the way in 65, sometime much earlier than that, and it's completely doable. Don't forget to give me a like on this video, comment down below. Let me know what you're gonna do on your early retirement, because I'm always interested in what other people are interested in doing. If you're interested in supporting this channel, I have an Audible link over here, Patreon over here, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.